Looking back on the things I've done, I was trying to be someone. And we're off. It is Wednesday, August 16th, 2023 AD. Anno Domini. And it's 9:01 a.m. U.S. Pacific Daylight Time here in Los Angeles. And we're going to have a fun show. I have a fun show planned out, sort of. Funny moment. Oh, I don't have the screenshot. I'll have to get the screenshot in the meantime of KJP, quote unquote, tweeting out as, when I ran for president, I made this promise and I'm holding fast to this promise. And then she deleted the tweet. Don Jr. was clowning on her. I got to pull that up on my phone because I took screenshots. What else? Based Ilhan Omar. Based. I knew I liked her for a reason. She's that Muslim gal. Muslim SJW standing up against the Jew-ish, the Jewish Trump supporter, or Trump-endorsed guy anyway, politician, on behalf of the woman, the Christian woman, the Christian Trump-supporting or politician, female politician, Trump-supported politician woman. Psh, ridiculous. Ridiculous. But it's cute. This Jewish conservative guy, relatively, supposedly, looks like a Chad. Doesn't even look like a sneaky, snaky, not normal white person, you know? He says, this is one of the most bigoted tweets I've ever seen, because this Lizzie Marbach woman says, there's no hope for any of us outside of having faith in Jesus Christ alone. Max Miller responded poorly to her. I literally thought he was trolling, but then he does this apology tweet. Funny. Travis King, you know that guy who, pardon me, Travis King, you know that guy who defected to North Korea? It was because of racism. That might be old news, but kind of funny / messed up because let me just make sure I'm centered. I see pictures of him. He looks like he's 20 years old. I could be wrong. He looks, meaning young and dumb, you know? Young and dumb. And now he's full... Sorry. There's a saying that I never say that's in my mind because I said young and dumb. But don't say that. Don't finish it. He's in North Korean custody now. I'm laughing, but I'm laughing with him. I'm laughing at him, but we wish him well. We really wish him well. That's a messed up situation. Blind, brainwashed, young black man. He doesn't know better. And we use the term man loosely. Some other things, a little excerpt from the Antidote and a little correction. Or at least more information, really. Might be a correction. From the Antidote, Healing America from the Poison of Hate, Blame, and Victimhood. I've been reading segments or portions, excerpts on Hake News, not fake news, during the JLP show. And then maybe, there's so many clips and stories to get to. And I always say I'm going to get to these things, and it takes me days, sometimes weeks, to get to them. There's this based teen, black, seemingly black, avoiding the wrong kind of rainbow painted pavement. So that's cool. All that and your calls, guys, if you would like to call in, and some manly, awesome Christian music. Those might be oxymorons. But anyway, everybody, let's get right on with the show!
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
Hey guys!
Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report.
So, how you guys doing? I am fine. I am wearing a Jesse Lee Peterson Savage Moments. It's not from the JLP store. This one is from Get a Job, Teespring. And actually, I think this is now a collector's item, limited edition. I forgot that I had it. Hey, I like wearing shirts once I've forgotten that I've had them. Then I'm pretty sure I haven't worn it 2 days in a row. It says Savage Moments on it. It has a drawing of JLP with some round planets or something, bubbles or something around him. Sort of I'm looking up at the screen, you know. Sort of, what would you call it? Abstract, kind of cool. First time I ever saw this image, I don't know who did it, what artist did it. Maybe it was Get a Job himself, but for some reason I sort of doubt that. First time I saw it was on a Trevor Wesley video, remixing JLP quotes, you know? Are those photos or composites? I don't even know. But it's pretty cool. And it says Savage Moments at the bottom. If you go to teespring.com/stores/get-a-job, you too can support Get a Job. His YouTube channel was summarily deleted with no warning, according to Get a Job. A shout out to Get a Job. I am not him. Somebody said that I am. You don't know. getajob.creator-spring.com is really the what it redirects to. I keep on saying Teespring, but it works. It redirects. This is, I don't think the t-shirt is available anymore. It's a hoodie with this design on it, but there's other designs. Cool. So you can support them. Get a second job on YouTube and Get a Job 2 with the numeral 2. The digit, you know. On Rumble. I think he's backing up his, should have backed it up a long time ago, Get a Job, you boomer. I think he might be a Gen Xer. Or maybe it's a she, and maybe she's a young millennial, Gen Z, who knows? But shout out to Get a Job. A lot of people find JLP through Get a Job, so I appreciate him. I support him, as well as JLP, as well as Bond, as well as The Fallen State. So, very cool. Okay, as I gather this screenshot about KJP, Karine Jean-Pierre, about tweeting as though she's Joe Biden, and then somebody probably tweeting as her. Before I get that, because I still have to grab it, let me get to a call here, guys. Daniel in Texas is here on the line with us. Happy Men's History Month once again. Daniel in Texas, good to hear from you.
Thank you, James. Happy Men's History Month to you, too.
Thank you.
My question is, how much time should we invest our lives in politics?
It depends on how much good you can do doing that, you know, because if you're a politician and that's your job, you should spend, 10, 12 hours a day doing your work, 5-6 days a week, whatever. Seems like a good number. I don't know. I'm not God, so I'm not one to say. But if you're not a politician and you're just a working man doing normal, real life work, not that there aren't politicians who are real men, Trump, for example. But I don't think that we should spend all that much time in it because a lot of it becomes vanity. Maybe all of it is vanity. It's good to speak on it to provide a lesson. You'll notice JLP spends a nice long time in a monologue leading up to presenting a story, and he'll talk about human nature and the issues everybody deals with, and then he'll present a story about the blacks or about Joe Biden or about whatever, or Trump. And that's something, a real life story from which you can learn about yourself and see life and see not to overreact to it or make a judgment and stuff like that. So that's useful.
Yeah.
What prompts you to ask that?
Part of it is the infighting. Remember, Azzmador was kind of touching on this when he was talking to you.
I do.
This infighting is it's two things. One is counterproductive, but two, it's kind of productive because it earns them money.
Yeah,
It gets them views.
true.
And what seems, and I guess I'm going to turn this into a question instead of a statement. Do you think that they've basically run out of people to attack? That do you think that the left is just so it's just so easy to attack at this point because of how dumb they are?
Yeah,
That they just decided to start sparring with themselves. The right wingers are just now sparring with themselves because they don't have any legitimate people to fight with.
I don't know. That's a fair question. I don't know if that's what's going on. There might be, because they're not really. We shouldn't really fight with either one. I cited Styx Hexenhammer 666, who put out a statement about the fight. He generally appreciates both those guys. He has no personal problem with either one, but he said that like what you said, it makes money and raises some notoriety, but that's not really what it's about. It's sort of counterproductive because the real enemy is what he calls the censors, the people who would clamp down on everybody. Those are the real enemies in his mind. But I say the real enemy is the devil inside ourselves and outside of ourselves, inside of our fellow man, too. So,
Yeah.
and we don't even really need to be fighting the devil, like at least not in that way. So,
Yeah.
I think that it's all ego, all puffed up pride. Kind of like in the Bible, I follow Paul, I follow Apollos, I follow Christ, which is I'm quoting from maybe Paul, somebody said that, about there shouldn't be this infighting even in the New Testament, early days churches. But there was infighting all the way back then.
Yeah.
You,
Schisms on all sides.
yeah. And Cernovich, I don't even think he's a Christian, yeah, maybe he is, made an interesting point on the fallen state that stuck with me all these years, saying what you focus on seems important to you. So, they say autistic people hyper-focus on things. I think that's everybody. Everybody, if you're in the particular world, that world seems so important to you. An area of the world, Oh, the flat earth. Oh, the Jews. Oh, Jesus is God. Oh, Jesus is not God. Oh, JLP. Oh, Trump. And people just start finding ways to fight and divide and be evil. And I'm not condemning necessarily, for example, Nick Fuentes or Ethan Ralph. I don't know. I'm not even paying attention to it, to be honest. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't care. I know that there's some accusations or allegations being thrown around. I don't even care about that. That's their issue. I don't know I don't know what even is being said because I don't pay any attention to it. I'm really not interested in it. I appreciate both those guys a lot. I have a lot of respect for both of them. And that's my position. I'm not taking any sides in that mess.
Yeah. Well, I certainly agree with Azzmador when he says it's all kind of petulant.
Yeah.
It really is. And, you know, I'm not one to necessarily side with the Sasquatch that maintains a public life. I just think that's totally self-destructive. But because his public life is a lot of the issues I agree with, I tend to tolerate it. And there's nothing I can do about it anyway.
Wait, what did you say? You said Sasquatch who maintained a public life?
Yeah, he's a Sasquatch who has a public life.
Yeah.
I mean, what's that all about?
Talking about Azzmador.
I'm going to ask him that question.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be elusive.
Yeah. Have you kept up and followed the drama, or are you just aware of it because you're generally a fan of those guys?
I am a fan of those guys, and I've kept up with it simply because it's kind of all they talk about at this point.
Yeah.
And, I mean, if you look at some of their shows, the titles of the shows is how they're attacking, you know, this or that.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I happen to follow Jaden McNeil, who is another guy who had a falling out with Nick Fuentes, and I see his headlines, and I haven't really listened to him because, you know, I'm busy.
Yeah.
But I remember he really liked JLP. He made that funny joke about, oh, congratulations to George Floyd, such and such days sober, and he got kicked out of college. And he fell, and he had this falling out with Nick, and now he has all these headlines, like you said, about Nick, about the mess going on. And it's not about, maybe in the midst of that, he's talking about real things, but these headlines aren't about anything real.
Yeah.
These titles.
Well, when, I don't know if you're familiar with the Leafy stream, when they all kind of called into Leafy. And Leafy had a very poignant response to all of it, and it was basically because the accusations were very they're just kind of it was throw everything and just see what sticks sort of stuff. So as they're talking to this guy who really doesn't have a dog in the fight, he's like, "Oh my goodness, I've done that same thing before too. Does that make me a terrible person?"
Yeah,
it was really funny because I'm hearing a lot of these accusations, and I think most people are just hearing it and they're like, "Yeah, that sounds like something I do when I was that age," you know, like.
Yeah, true.
You know, so I think you know, Azzmador he said that things are seemingly bleak. I'm paraphrasing. I don't remember the exact verbiage, but he said things are kind of bleak right now, so people started to attack each other.
Yeah, that happens. Pardon my interrupting you. I know I'm interrupting you. Hold that thought.
Okay.
It reminds me of Scott Adams made the point, and I think there was a study made too. The loser becomes a conspiracy theorist. You know, the left-wingers became conspiracy theorists when they lost to Donald Trump, and now the right-wingers are back to being the conspiracy theorists because we're usually the losers in the country. We're losing the country, right? America's losing. And also, when there's loss and trouble and dismay, there is more strife. I don't even know who Leafy is. It's true. But anyway, back to your point.
That I would go so far as to say is maybe some of these guys have it too good. Maybe they have a little too much time on their hands.
Yeah. That's a good point too. I think of that sometimes with the gays, you know. Only in a society that's spoiled can people who are just wild and degenerate like that survive and quote unquote thrive, because in a normal hard times society they might have some of that perverted tendency, but they would be busy surviving, you know, working,
right,
making life work, or else just they wouldn't survive. I think. I don't know. People, even in hard times, people continue to do wrong and be perverted, but it's kind of like too much. You're right. Too much time on your hands. You need a job. There is a lot of time wasted in the fallen state. So bad. JLP made the point that when you're coming out of the fallen state, you have so much time on your hands, and yet you don't need to do anything with your time. Sort of interesting.
What if all of these guys were to start learning an instrument with that time, or learn a language?
Yeah. Right.
Like in the time that you spend talking about each other, why don't you learn Spanish?
Yeah.
Talk about each other in Spanish. Today I'm doing a Spanish episode where I'm going to bash so-and-so because they don't know how to speak Spanish. Hola.
That's funny, man. Yeah. Crazy.
They just one-up each other on learning Spanish. That'd be kind of cool.
Lizzie says, that's Hake all day, every day. And I don't know exactly what she's talking about, but I have a feeling she's probably kind of right.
Oh, she's talking about your political show?
Wasting all kinds of time, just blah, blah, blabbering about stuff that doesn't matter. Yeah. So true. Funny.
Anyway, I'm all talked out.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Fun conversation. Take care, Daniel.
Right on. You too, James. Bye.
All right. Bye. So I do have these screenshots in the folder. They're called KJP. That's Karine Jean-Pierre as Biden. It's a funny moment just to share real quick. Karine Jean-Pierre, as you know, is the first black female lesbian, so-called, which is a bit redundant to describe her that way. Press secretary under sleazy, sleepy, so-called President Joe Biden. And I see this tweet from KJP as Biden. 1, Don Jr. clowning on her. Surprise, surprise. Biden's tweets are as fraudulent as the DOJ's charges against Trump, which I have to disavow for the sake of my channel, I guess. Maybe. I don't know. I preemptively disavow that. The DOJ's charges are real and not frivolous. Don Jr., Donald J. Trump Jr. And he shares this screenshot from Karine Jean-Pierre at PressSec. Investing in America means investing in all of America, she tweeted at 3:05 p.m. Eastern time, apparently, and if Don Jr.'s in Eastern time, yesterday, 15th of August. When I ran for president, I made a promise I would leave no part of the country behind. I'm like, what? KJP ran for president? But no, this post has been deleted. It's not a tweet, it's a post. When you're on X, it's not Twitter anymore. Slap my face. Don't do that, kids, ladies, men. It's X. It's not Twitter. It's X, and you post on X. You don't tweet on Twitter. This post has been deleted. So she deleted it. It's kind of funny, by the way. I'm in Pacific time. So Don Jr. tweeted 1:50 p.m. Pacific time, and he screenshotted Karine Jean-Pierre at 3:05 p.m. Eastern time. So kind of funny. He posted within an hour and 15 minutes of her tweet that she deleted, or somebody deleted under her account. Kind of funny, amusing. The replies are pretty funny too. Spoiler alert, found that tweet. I shall share it. Well, no, spoiler alert, shared it in the chat. The replies are kind of ridiculous. Oh, man, I was looking for the Lincoln Project. Oh, man, somebody did. Okay, never mind. I'm just going to keep on moving. I just thought it was funny. I was amused. Easily amused, Hake. I would have been remiss not to point that out. But, okay. The Lincoln Project is an anti-Trump rhino, perverted, disgusting, evil outlet. You know, they're supposedly conservatives, but they are never Trump type people. Never Trumpers. Lamos. And they said, oh, you think Biden sits on the toilet tweeting all day like your father did for 4 years? Give me a break. Trump's tweets were awesome and real and genuine. Or genuine. So now, U.S. Ministry of Truth tweeted about it too. The screenshot of it. We're thrilled to announce that Joseph R. Biden has become the first black lesbian president of the United States. And shares the thing. United States Ministry of Truth established to prevent disinformation and protect democracy. They, them. But it's satire. It's satire. So funny. I want to share with you guys another funny thing that happened on X, no longer known as Twitter. No longer known as Twitter. But first, let me get to a call or two here. I like to reward the callers sometimes. David in Ocala, Florida, on the line. How you doing, David? What's up?
Good afternoon, James.
Good morning from Cali. Good afternoon from Florida. How you doing?
I'm sorry there. I accidentally had you on speaker, man. I had to kick it off.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Hey, I got called for jury duty for like the 5th time, okay?
The 5th time in how long? Ever in your life?
In my life.
Okay.
Yeah, my life.
Yeah, not too bad.
So, that's not, well, I guess not, since I've been, almost 40 years since I registered to vote, so. But anyway, I'm in there, and there's this black guy sitting next to me, and he's the type of, he's the brother that y'all are always talking about, got that scowl on his face, and, just terrible aura around him, because he's angry. And I must have moved my chair and bumped his arm, and he said something to me about it or something like that. And I told him, I said, look, I didn't intentionally try to bump your arm. And I started sitting there thinking, man, it started getting me a little upset, my blood pressure started going up.
Uh-huh.
And then they called him. He got called. He had to get up and go to jury duty. Right after he got nasty with me.
Wait, what?
Right after he got nasty with me, and I told him, I said, look, I wouldn't intentionally try to pinch your arm or whatever you were talking about, man, because they had us sitting real close to each other.
Yeah.
Couldn't believe after COVID, they had us in these little tiny cheap chairs.
Interesting point.
And so, so I go, I wouldn't intentionally pinch your arm, man. And then the lady comes in and she starts calling people, and he was the first person she called to go back there to go to jury duty again after the 5th roll.
Is that God's judgment?
No, I don't know. It's just getting him away from me was a good idea because, I was getting upset about the way he talked to me like that. I don't like that. I don't like his tone of voice.
It's funny that he nothing satisfies an evil spirit like spreading an evil spirit. You caught his evil spirit. You started getting mad. You started getting in a grouchy mood because he was in a grouchy mood. Isn't that interesting?
Right. You're exactly right, and that's why I called you to tell you about it. And I also wanted to talk to you about something that Frederick had called about Friday. I didn't realize that you could, your phone caller. I tried to call in and get on the phone with him, but I'd already called you, and I didn't realize that you can't do that. So I apologize.
Yeah, just one call a day. No problem.
Yeah, I just thought sometimes you'd hook somebody back up on the line.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, Frederick was asking about the, let us go down, let us make man in our image, let us go down.
Where God is quoted it by, I guess, Moses in the book of Genesis in the Bible as having said, let us make man in our image. Let us do this or that. Uh-huh.
And I think he was sort of leaning towards there's many people involved in that or something like that.
Yeah, he thinks that there's multiple gods.
Right, but that's not it. The us is the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, man.
You think so?
Okay. Oh, yeah, because watch this. It says the Spirit hovered over the deep, and then God spoke and said, let there be light, and there was light. So the Holy Spirit had something to do with the creation. All three did.
Oh, okay. So God used his Son, and he used the Holy Spirit to create. To create. Interesting. You might be right. I don't know, though, because I don't know if Moses wrote it and he didn't know about Father, Son, Holy Spirit. He didn't use that language.
Well, that was all inspired, though.
So I don't know if I would assume that that's what that meant, though, Because
Well, that's what I believe. I believe that
I wouldn't-
myself personally. I mean, so
but
that's all.
doesn't it sound like it could be an assumption? Because some people say that God, I'm not saying you're wrong. You might be right. But some
I got
people
you.
say that in some biblical scholars, when I read the notes, because I had an NIV, okay? My mother gave it to me as a kid. Okay, so
King James, baby, King James.
Right on. But I read the notes, and some scholars or whatever believe that these old-timer people who wrote the Bible, like Moses, I guess, wrote God in a plural because he's so powerful. That's what I was trying to explain to, he's so big and powerful, he had to use the us, we, kind of like these journalists will use the term we, the editorial we, when it's just me. You know, it's just one person. Or some guy running for office, just because he has a team behind him, he'll say we, like Ron DeSantis, phony Ron DeSantis. And I like Ron DeSantis, but sometimes he seems phony to me. He'll say, we did this, we did that. He really means I. I mean, I get that he kind of means we because he has a team with him helping him do stuff, and maybe they're coming up with ideas. But a lot of times journalists and politicians and old-timer people writing about God will use a plural form just because it's bigger than just one. He's so big that it seems cheap to just refer to him as in the singular. But even still, the Old Testament is clear. Even I think in maybe Genesis, certainly Deuteronomy, the God is one, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And then Jesus said, when you see me, you see the Father. He says, no one knows the Son but the Father, and no one knows the no one knows the Father but the Son, and no one knows the Son but the Father, and the one who the Son wills to reveal himself to. That's the key. But, you know, the reason why I believe that Jesus is God, okay, manifested in the flesh like he was or is because of all the miracles that he was able to do. Now, you think about that. How was he able to do all those miracles? You know, unless my belief is he spoke the world into existence. He's the one that said, "Let there be light."
No,
so if you're the one,
God said that. Jesus didn't
I understand
say
that, but
now,
Jesus was the one who said it.
No, it said God said it.
Well, he is God. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
No, man. I think, see, you're jumping to all kinds of spurious conclusions.
Well, I'm just sharing with you what I believe. You don't have to believe it or not.
Right.
You know, I mean, hey,
But
remember, okay, look.
But you got mad at a black guy. You think you're God. Like you can.
No, I don't. No, I don't.
Yeah, you do,
No, I
because you
don't.
got
That's
mad
just
at a
my
black
emotion.
guy for his tone of voice. Who are you
Well,
that
no,
you
it's
sh-
his
who,
own-
who are
no,
you
it's
that a
the
black
own-
should have a nice tone of voice with you?
No, it's his attitude,
You
man.
bumped-
Listen, let me.
Who are you that a black shouldn't have a bad attitude with you?
It's not that. It's just the point of the matter. I didn't give it. You know, it's just. You know, look, man. You haven't been living in the South like I have all these years.
But what's
putting
the
up with
point
this
of the
crap.
matter?
The point of the matter is he. If I had to, he's just not. When you're not right with God, you have issues like that. You get angry with people for
Right.
no reason, and you got an attitude.
Yeah, and that's what happened to you. So how
Well,
do you
I
know?
didn't- well, I
What
didn't
makes
like-
you
I
think
didn't
you're
tell
right
him-
with God if you got mad
Well,
at this
here's the
guy?
Well, no, I got mad internally. I didn't really let him have it yet. Okay?
But that's
If he kept
so
running
white.
his mouth, I would have.
That's what's wrong with the whites. Because
That's what's wrong with me. That's what's wrong
Yeah,
with me is
we
I got anger issues from the time I was a little boy.
Right.
Okay? I'm just telling you. I know.
Yeah.
I know. I got.
You listen to
know,
JLP, right?
Oh yeah, man. I mean, dude, I've talked to therapists, dude. I was at, you remember I told you I used to do drugs like crazy trying to bring it down. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And I quit alcohol 5 years ago. Okay. So
I didn't know this was just 5 years ago.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I wasn't drinking but I would have a drink every once in a while. And then the next day I didn't like it. You know, I didn't like the way it made me feel. You know, if I had a martini or something like that the next day, I wasn't no heavy drinker.
Right.
It's just I knew it. What I realized was every bad decision
Maybe you were
I
heavier
ever
than you
made in my
realized.
life. What's that?
Maybe you might have been a heavier drinker than you realized.
Yeah.
A lot of
might have
times
been.
when
Anyway,
you have a vice, you don't realize how bad it is.
Well, when I realized every bad decision I ever made had alcohol in it, that's when I said, "Man, you got to quit." And I got old. I'm older. You know what I'm saying? I'm not no spring chicken no more. So
True.
I got that. But here, I'll share this, and then I'll go because I know you got to go. Okay, in the Bible where it talks about Jesus is in there sleeping on a pillow, right? He's in this boat, and here comes the wind and the rain, and they're all freaking out, and they run in there to him, and they say, "Master, Master, we're perishing." And he gets up, and he first off, he tells them, "Ye a little faith," which isn't what he didn't mean. Hey, if you had enough faith, you could have stopped the wind and the rain. Okay, but anyway, he goes out there and he tells the wind and the rain, "Peace, be still," and it came under his authority.
Yeah.
And they marveled, and they said, "What manner of man is this, that even the wind and the rain obey him?" And that's why I'm telling you, he's the one who spoke the world into existence, and that's why it had to come under his authority. And when he told them, "Ye a little faith," what he meant was, if you knew who was in there sleeping on that pillow, you wouldn't be worried about that.
Was Moses God when he did miracles?
God just worked through him, like when the snake, his staff turned into a snake and ate the other snakes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he parted the Red Sea, or God parted the Red Sea.
God parted the Red Sea, though.
Right. So God did the miracles, and through Jesus.
I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
I just want you to
anyway, we don't really have time to get into that.
I know.
But
hey, listen, thanks for taking my call.
Yeah.
And y'all keep rocking on, man, and have a good day. And I'll talk to you in a couple weeks or something. You be good, okay?
Always fun and interesting, man. Appreciate you, man. Call again.
All right, you too, man. Bye.
All right, bye. He's the one who gave me that Free Bird small, large T-shirt with that one band, Leonard Skinner, All Wise. William in California is on the line. William, thanks for calling and holding. How you doing?
You better sit down. Home run time. How you doing, man?
I'm doing fine.
My man David in Ocala, right on, man. Always enjoy your calls. I understand what you're saying. It's just the point of the matter, you know.
Yeah, but it's interesting how the guy spread his bad mood. Nothing suits. I saw this Calvin and Hobbes comic strip episode in which Calvin is all nasty with Susie, that gross, slimy girl, and she gets all mad. She gets a bad mood, and he's like, nothing satisfies. He said something to the effect of, nothing helps a bad mood like spreading it, or something like that. And he has this evil look on his face. So satanic.
Right. And, well, people put out energy sometimes. They go through things.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, man, I'm looking for a blender in my house. I'm looking at my kitchen. I have a nice kitchen, but it just doesn't get used because I just feel like a foreigner in there. And so I'm looking for this blender. I call my girlfriend. I say, "Where's the blender?"
Uh-huh.
What are you doing? I'm baking a cake, James. I'm going to bake a cake.
Wow.
And
you are?
And it's going to be I'm going to bake a cake.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, she's laughing. That's okay. I'm going to bake it. I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I know I can do it.
Cool.
Yeah.
What type of what do we know what the William is doing? Is cooking.
What was that?
Do you know what the William is cooking? I don't know why I'm holding my ear like the Rock.
Yeah, I'm doing this cake. It's just a box cake, man. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna act like it.
Cool.
And put it in the blend. Use the blender, however you use the thing, and put it together.
Right on.
Bake a cake. Hey, happy Men's Month.
Thank you. Happy Men's History Month to you as well.
I got a tribute.
Let's hear it.
Calvin Lockhart. Remember him?
Calvin, you're asking the wrong man. Calvin Lockhart, Bahamian from the Bahamas, American stage actor.
Yeah, he's from the
Black
Bahamas.
dude?
Yeah.
Let's see. Best known for his roles as Reverend Deke O'Malley in the 1970 film Cotton Comes to Harlem. And Biggie Smalls in the 1975 Warner Brothers film Let's Do It Again. Born in 1934.
With Bill Cosby and Sidney Poitier, correct. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cool. So he was a manly actor from back when actors used to be a touch more manly.
They were cool.
Yeah.
They had a cool about themselves.
Right. Nice.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. I can.
Yeah, him and was that Sidney Poitier? Those guys are from the Bahamas.
Oh, I didn't realize Sidney Poitier was from the Bahamas. Is that like a?
Yeah.
That sounds like a French last name, but Lockhart doesn't really sound French. Why
Right.
Were these like slave names, right? Basically, like the slave master had Lockhart and the slave master had Poitier. Is that true?
Yeah.
Is that a fair assumption?
Poitier sounds more like a Bohemian name.
Okay.
Poitier.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lockhart was a good actor. I liked his work as well.
Screenshot this and put the screenshot in the folder. Cool, man.
Yeah. And David, thanks for the music tips. Yeah, he likes the same kind of stuff I like. I can dig it.
Okay. Right on.
What and we got a mother and a son in trouble somewhere down in the South where they plotted to kill somebody, and they actually did do it, and got the text messages all over the news and everything. This is something that just happened this morning. You may want to look it up. I sent you a story.
Oh, wow.
Just recently. You probably can pull it up later.
Okay.
Very, very horrific crime. You got a mother and a son involved.
They actually did some evil?
Yeah.
Not just planning?
Did. Yeah. It's terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible news.
Yep.
Very, very depressing.
Well, I mean, but we know that the world is evil. I mean, there's some horrific things written about even in the Bible. I don't know if you're Christian. Are you Christian?
Catholic.
Okay. Yeah, even in the Bible, the Old Testament and the New Testament, there were some horrific things done by people. People are
Most
evil.
definitely.
Oh yeah, here's a picture
most
of
definitely.
we're showing a picture of Calvin Lockhart, the Bahamian American stage
nice looking
actor.
man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ruggedly handsome.
Yeah, manly like, huh?
Yeah. Nice, man. Well, thanks for the tip. Yeah, we shouldn't be depressed at the evil stuff. You should definitely be careful, though. I mean, you're not far from the evil city of San Francisco, where a lot of people are wanting to move out.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, James, this place was a different place when I grew up.
People don't feel
than
safe.
It is right now, because right now, crime is actually legal. And you guys were talking about the Nordstrom thing. Actually, Nordstrom left San Francisco. They said they had enough.
Uh-huh.
And
Terrible.
so these policies are hurting the people that live in the inner city.
Wow.
Because they're not having a lot of stores are leaving Walgreens, and they're just pulling out because the crime is too high, you know, and the people, they're always quoting, well, this is just a business and they got insurance, and it really doesn't work that way when it comes to vandalism. The insurance company might cover it once, but then the second time, what are they going to do? They're going to look at you like your premiums are all going to go up to where it dries the business out.
Yeah. Yikes.
Yeah, you know, and then like, I heard you was talking about the union yesterday. I think the last 10 years of my working years, it wasn't union. I think it was better.
Yeah.
But I do understand people that like the union. I understand their reasons.
I saw an interesting message from Bobby or Robbie. I think it's Robbie. Robbie on Facebook's talking about, if union is so great, then how come FedEx employees, which maybe they're non-union, are paid well and doing well? You know, Starbucks was non-union, and Starbucks, they're a bunch of liberals, right? They treat their they were known for treating their employees really well, helping them with college or flexible and benefits and stuff like that. But now they scumbags, kind of, pardon me, dirtbags want to unionize, and it's not good. It's
no, I don't think so either.
Although
they
they do support liberals.
Teachers.
and liberals support criminals. Criminals destroy businesses, and so these people have to poor communist wannabe workers have to deal with it.
Just like raising the minimum wage is nothing but an open door for It's an open door for unemployment, is what it is.
Yeah, and
if
killing
you understand
businesses,
the numbers,
killing opportunities, or diminishing.
Well, you kill opportunity for 10 just to hire one.
Yeah,
and those that balance, that doesn't balance out right.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And it becomes like a bunch of people that work for the union that be stuck in there for 30 years with these same policies. You're just stuck in it. So I think sometimes the private is better than the union job, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, I think...
Yeah, in my opinion.
In many ways, it is. I get that they get some cushy benefits, and that's tempting. It's, in my opinion, it can be ill-gotten gain, although if you can get it, get those benefits, but don't watch
if you raise the minimum wage to $30 an hour, what's your wage going to be? Your regular wage, $90. It's called what it is, minimum wage. It shouldn't be something that you live off of.
Right. Yep. Terrible.
But they make you feel that way. And I mean, look how bad the union is for the teachers.
It's really bad. It's I know teachers who are not liberals, and yet they have to they're forced. They don't have right to work. They don't have the right to work without being in the dirtbag communist union, Democrat Party supporting union. So they're forced to pay union dues, which go to pay demon rats and rhinos.
Right.
So it's so bad. Anyway, man, great call. Thank you, William.
Well, thank you for taking my call.
All right.
And everybody have a good one.
Nice.
You can play some music today?
I shall. Have you enjoyed Stavesacre at all?
It's all right.
All
nice.
right. I appreciate that. I agree.
I got a pretty wide palette
Yeah.
for music, just different stuff. I like it. It's
Same.
cool.
Thanks again, man.
All right, man. Take care.
All right. I got to get to this story. Based Ilhan Omar stands up for a MAGA, as in pro-Trump, supposedly, Christian female, about whom I've never heard. This tweet I came across this AM this morning. I have a bunch of tweets from this folder. Ilhan Omar for a Christian against the Jewish person. Ilhan Omar tweeted, I'm doing this in the order in which I see it, so this story can unfold for you guys the way this unfolded for me. It's silly, it's empty, it's blah, blah, blah. No, tweeted Ilhan Omar, stating the core beliefs or principles of your faith isn't bigoted, as Lizzie did. Who's Lizzie? Maybe I'll tell you. I don't even really know. It's religious freedom, says Ilhan Omar, states Ilhan Omar, purportedly her account, right? And no one should be scolded for that, she tweeted. It's also wrong. I should do her voice, because she speaks with a deep voice. I like a deep-voiced woman. It's also wrong to speak about religious freedom while simultaneously harassing people who freely express their beliefs. And she quote tweeted this Max Miller fellow. So two women, team women, going against the man, Max Miller, O-H, Ohio, Max Miller. And he tweeted, this is one of the most bigoted tweets I have ever seen. Delete it, Lizzie. Religious freedom. I don't know how he sounds, so I'm just doing a manly voice. Religious freedom in the United States applies to every religion. You have gone too far. Pardon me. And he's quote tweeting this Lizzie gal. Who's Lizzie? I don't know. Lizzie Marbach. Marbach on Twitter. And she quote tweeted her as saying, there's no hope for any of us outside having faith in Jesus Christ alone. Oh, this is X. She posted. And it kind of went viral. Because this guy's, that's one of the most bigoted tweets. Is it really bigoted? That's a liberal word. What are you doing? You're a Republican, I think, if you're a MAGA guy. So let me show you the Twitter profile of Lizzie Marbach. Her Twitter profile, her X profile, not Twitter. Thank you, Elon Musk. Saved by grace through faith in Jesus. Cross, Christian cross emoji, the purple emoji thing with the cross in the middle of it, button thing. Former Ohio GOP at RNC and Trump 2020 campaign. In other words, this is a woman who's all involved in politics. Soli Deo Gloria, something says her Twitter profile banner. Soli Deo Gloria. Only glory to God, I guess. I don't know. I don't know my Latin. Passionate. She's passionate about helping others use their brains. Lizzie, Lizzie. No Y. And then so that's her profile. And here's Max Miller's profile. I want to plow through this so that I can get to the beautiful music and keep it moving. Max Miller, O-H, Ohio. He's a Congress male or a congressman. Not a Christian. I learned. Ohio's 7th district, endorsed by President Donald J. Trump. Instagram, Max Miller, Ohio. Support and contribute. Pointing down finger. Proud Jew. Proud Jew? Proud Jew. So we have 3 different, because if you don't know, Ilhan Omar is a Muslim. SJW Muslim. So Muslim with an asterisk, okay? But most Muslims are dumb liberals like her, Democrat. And so this he looks kind of like a Chad too. He doesn't even look like I said, like a sleazy, snaky type of a person. He also says Semper Fi. Oh, so he's one of those Dan Crenshaw types. What is he? Is that a Marine statement? Any Marines? I can't say former Marine because it's once a Marine, always a Marine. Kind of like president, I've learned. See, doesn't he look like a sort of a Chad? That one picture of him makes him look like these actors who are relatively handsome, ruggedly handsome. Looks almost like American Psycho and like Gavin Newsom. Like who's that guy who's trying to run for governor in Texas and he's pro gun control and he's kind of lame, but he's like, anyway, I don't know. VoteMaxMiller.com. I cracked up out loud when I saw that he's proud Jew. I had to apologize to Nick and Sean this morning because I was laughing. I literally thought he was trolling with that tweet. This is the most bigoted thing I've ever seen. Oh, there's no hope without Jesus Christ. Delete this now. I thought he was tweeting. But then he posted again. Because he's not tweeting anymore. He posted again. I posted something earlier that conveyed a message, and he quote tweets his tweet about delete this. This is bigoted. It's a liberal word, not a Christian word, bigoted. I posted something earlier that conveyed a message I did not intend. There it is. Nice work, Hassan. Appreciate that. I will not try to hide my mistake or run from it. Nice. I sincerely apologize to Lizzie, whoever that is. She's involved in politics and pushing the Christian thing, right? And to everyone who read my post. So he quote tweets his anti-Christian tweet. Religious freedom in the United States applies to every religion. You've gone too far. And then there's lame-o replies calling. So a liberal SJW Muslim protecting, quote unquote, on Twitter, right? So how much protection really are you getting? It's just words. Protecting a MAGA Christian fellow woman from a proud Jew MAGA guy. 2 MAGAs fighting. One a Jewish MAGA. The other, I assume that they're both pro-Trump. I don't know. Protecting the Christian from the Jew. Typical sleazy, snaky, liberal SJW Muslim kissing up to the Christian, most of the country's Christian, against the Jew. And these lame-o replies calling her based. Do I have the replies? Let's see. Yeah. Hobie still tweeted, I get you're trying to invoke religious freedom, but she's out here saying without her religion, there's no hope? ? No thanks. And Ilhan Omar, based, pro-Christian Ilhan Omar, I use these terms loosely, of course, tweeted, that's her actual belief. Because she talks like that. I like a deep-voiced woman. You can disagree, but it's not bigoted for her to say what her beliefs are. That's all. She tweeted. She got a bunch of likes. Harrison Crank, holy poop. Ilhan said something based, says this Harrison Crank guy. Eudaimonia Esquire, a lawyer. Liar. No, I don't know anything about him. Tweeted, Ilhan Omar has no love for religious freedom. She is just taking a convenient opportunity, this is what crossed my mind, to flex her often demonstrated, some people pronounce it often demonstrated. No, the T is silent. It's often demonstrated anti-Semitism, and he spells it with all one word, no hyphen, or anti-Semitism. That's their buzzword for pretending that she only hates Jews and nobody else. She hates everybody. She's a hate-filled liberal SJW Muslim woman. Both she and Max are wrong, and you should reject them both. That's the based take. Somebody else says, holy crap, I just agreed with Ilhan Omar. Morgan Ariel says, the Matrix is getting mighty interesting. It's not that interesting. It's not that deep. I found it amusing. Maybe by interesting, she meant amusing. Because that's the dynamic going on. Those Muslims will say, at least we respect Jesus, not like those Jews who say terrible things about Jesus. Anyway. A little bit more from this. No, I'll skip that. I had more about Ilhan Omar, but I think I'll skip it for now. Because we're coming on the top of the hour, and I'm getting tired of hearing myself talk. Let's hear some beautiful music. It's Men's History Month. Let's listen to some Stavesacre. Stavesacre. From the I guess the 2000 album Collective. It might appear elsewhere, like on a split EP with Denizen Mars. Anybody ever heard of them? I certainly have. But this track is entitled Sad Parade. Sad Parade. I kind of like this track. That's why I'm sharing it with you. Okay? I'm excited. So you can get excited too. Or you can leave the room. You can press mute. You can cover your ears. Yeah, McConaughey. Thank you, Hassan. Hassan is Iraqi for Sean. Or something. I made that up. You can sing La La La, the Hake Report, covering your ears. Go outside, shovel snow, rake your leaves, plant your garden, harvest your crops, sling your cattle, attend to your truck, you truckers. I'll be right back for hour 2, Sad Parade by Stavesacre.
Coming through.
So nice.
Holding out for sympathy. Falling will stop the world again. The saccharate is coming. Falling will stop the world again. The saccharate is coming. The saccharate is coming.
What I like about this song, this man's voice, you can't confuse it with a woman's voice. I don't think. This is devil music. Mark Salomon. Kind of fun. Slap your mama music. Christian System of a Down. Christian Silverchair. Frank Zappa? Not exactly. These guys rock! Yep, Sierra Madre. This music is channeling demons. Probably right. Sounds like The Cure. A little bit. Isn't that nice? Kind of fun. Kind of rocking a little bit, right? Yeah, tooth and nail. Super chats. Thank you guys for bearing with me through the beautiful music. My opinion, beautiful. I am remiss in not reading yesterday. Star emoji. Zion. Sion. Is Sion a Zionist? Bought a coffee. Hank. Have so-and-so on your show when he ain't on pot. Thumbs up emoji. Well, thank you. That's could be any time. Because so-and-so is not on pot. But thank you. Appreciate that request. Interesting suggestion. Yenrik Yagoda bought 3 coffees on buymeacoffee.com. / the Hake Report. You're not going to find it by going just to buymeacoffee.com. You have to go / the Hake Report. Okay? Senor Antonio Hake. Did you see on Twitter, also known as X, the bipartisan, meaning evil, condemning of Christian? Oh, yeah. By Representative, I just talked about this before the break, by Representative Max Miller and Casey Weinstein. Neither of whom are Christian. They attacked Representative Lizzie Marbach, whom we will forgive for being a woman, for tweeting, "There's no hope for any of us outside having faith in Jesus Christ alone." Thank you for the tip, Yenrik Yagoda. I appreciate that. I did not know that Casey Weinstein also attacked another Ohio state representative, 40 years old, born in 1982, a demon rat. Not a Republican. So in addition to Max Miller, Casey Weinstein, I did not know that. That's funny. Let me check out X, formerly known as Twitter. And it is x.com. Casey Weinstein. Blah, 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 blah. It looks white, but don't be fooled. Not a normal white, not a Christian. husband to Professor Weinstein, Prof. Weinstein, father of 3, Air Force Academy, Falcon, Ohio State Buckeye. And let's see if he tweeted, blah, 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 blah. Bum. I do not see Hibbs. I don't see Casey Weinstein. Let's see replies. Rep Weinstein. I don't see where, at least not on Twitter, also known as X, that he replied to that mess. Maybe he deleted this tweet. Or maybe it was somewhere else. Amanda Weinstein, economist, Air Force veteran, co-host of the SW Suburban Women Problem podcast. Gross. Anyway, thank you for the tip there, over there on buymeacoffee.com/The Hake Report. Man, Yen Rick Yagoda. Kind of funny. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like a whole lot of wrong. Sounds like a whole lot of evil devils fighting, you know? Pretty funny how I am so serious. I thought that Max Miller, proud Jew guy, was trolling because he's a MAGA guy. Like, what's a MAGA guy doing talking about bigotry? MAGA people don't believe bigotry even exists. Maybe they do. JNS, Jewish News Syndicate. Another from buymeacoffee.com. Spoiler alert. Lots of interesting info here regarding the feud between Max Miller and Ilhan Omar. Oh, so she just hates Max Miller. He, JNS, Jewish News Syndicate, has this article about Max Miller. And he doesn't look as Chad and manly in this photograph, interestingly. And it's not even meant to be a unflattering photograph. It's not a horrible photograph. It just doesn't look like quite so much of the Chad that the first impression led me to think of him. He aims to be the loudest Republican Jewish voice for our people, quote unquote. Having introduced legislation stripping Representative Ilhan Omar. Oh, so she has a little chip on her shoulder for her Foreign Affairs Committee assignment. Well, I don't know. Maybe she doesn't have any chip on her shoulder. The Ohio congressman says he would welcome her back if she truly repents. And it's an article from April 19th, 2023 AD by Noah Niederhofer. What a cool name. Not necessarily a Christian name, but just an interesting name. I knew a German man, and we called him, by we, I'm talking about some friends of mine, called him Niedenschmacken. Let me show you guys Max Miller article, JNS1. Boom. Boom 2. Drag this into the main folder there for you, Hassan, just so you guys can see. Thank you for the tip. Spoiler alert. I want everyone to know, and I'm not afraid, that I am Jewish, he told JNS. Like, what? That's not so... That's fine. It's not so unkosher to be Jewish in America anymore. Didn't used to be... if you will, right? It did not used to be so kosher, I heard, to be Jewish in America. We liked Christians. Normal Christians, not Catholics. Did you show the picture of him too? You probably did. There's him. And if you look down toward the bottom of the picture, he's wearing a Star of David thing, kind of like how Hassan wore a Jesus thing, necklace over his dress shirt and tie. Sort of an interesting look. Ohio isn't really newsworthy, says Matthew with 2 T's. Yeah, see, it's a cool design. I really, all these symbols that to some people symbolize evil, some people symbolize fine, good things. some of these symbols just look cool. There's other symbols that are sort of antagonistic to this symbol that, Star of David, that also look cool. And, of course, I like the rebel flag too. And even like the commie stuff, Nazi stuff, commie stuff, Confederate stuff. Even like that Che Guevara stuff. It just looks awesome. Anyway, and I'm not a fan of Che. Your religion broke off from Catholicism, Hake. Yeah, because even back then, the evil people were fighting. So even in the New Testament, even the New Testament Christians, constantly being scolded and chided for fighting about whom to follow. So, eat that, Skunky X. Just playing around, man. Well, yeah. Okay. Thank you guys for the super chats. Evil is Still Real says, you have promised me OK would come back for like half a year. Yet every day I am let down with music that is gay than your chat-hard audience. You should get more stories out of David. His are good. Thank you, Evil is Still Real. Yeah, I still have OK in mind to play. Okay? 1,000 years are like a day to the Lord God, and a day are like 1,000 years. Something like that. It's in the Bible, I think. So be patient, young Padawan. I disavow that Padawan Star Wars reference. But thank you, Evil is Still Real. I appreciate that. And I love OK. I've been really thinking about playing them. But I have a cool song that I have not played. A cool band that I have not played and been wanting to play for over a year. Because I was out for 3 months last Men's History Month. I'm here, so far, anyway, this Men's History Month. So, be patient, survive, stay alive, and I'll try and do the same. And if the Lord is willing, and the Creek Nation of American Indians do not rise up against us, then we shall play more OK. Marty Anderson. Deep guy. I don't know if he's a Christian, but I like his stuff. And he's weird, and he sounds like my late grandma. Nice. Okay, let's talk about Travis King. Young traitor to the U.S. Army. Which the U.S. Army's, I don't know what to say about them either. Defector Travis King to North Korea. He black, and he's young. I have some screenshots about this Travis King guy. I did a little Google search after I read about him in Hake News, right? Yeah, I did. This American defector. North Korea confirmed publicly today for the first time the U.S. Army private Travis King crossed into their territory. I call it their territory rather than its territory. North Korea is a country, but the people who are running that country, or representing the people who run in the country, say it's their territory. King's story, there's a picture of him. He's black. Young looking. Adult. Grown man. Not manly in his thinking, but who is nowadays, What young man is. King's story garnered international attention, but this guy's thinking is particularly remarkably odd and off, in my opinion. Just look at his situation. King's story garnered international attention last month after he became the first U.S. soldier to cross into North Korea since 1982. That's the year after I was born. David Ocala insulted me, calling me a 1982 baby. No, 1981. Funny, the prideful stuff we get puffed up on. Catholic versus real Christian, normal Christian. 1982 versus 1981. Irish versus normal white. Italian versus normal white. Anyway. Guatemalan or Salvadorian versus Mexican. Colombian versus Mexican. Puerto Rico versus other American territories. U.S. defense officials said that Travis King, this Travis King feller, willfully and without authorization ran into North Korea while taking. We're showing AP headlines with pictures of this guy. There's a framed picture of him in uniform, in his little army fatigues uniform thing, with an American flag behind him. Didn't turn out to have so much love for America. He was taking a civilian tour inside the DMZ, demilitarized zone. State-run Korean media. I learned about the DMZ when Trump shook hands with Kim Jong-un, Little Rocket Man. State-run Korean media issued a statement today that claimed Travis King had expressed his willingness to seek refugee, so-called. I don't know why they didn't call it just refuge, in North Korea or a third country. He wanted to seek refuge in North Korea. North Korea is not the nice place. Wasn't there another young man whose parents appeared at like a State of the Union address invited by Trump because he got tortured and he came back and then he died, all messed up in North Korea because he got the bright idea to be like try to steal a poster or something like that. A young college student touring in South Korea decided to cross into North Korea and got caught and tortured. And North Korea is sort of an isolated state if you don't know. Now you do. Now you know. North Korea's media, I guess, also claimed Travis King confessed that he had decided to enter North Korea as he harbored ill feeling against inhuman maltreatment, and racial discrimination within the U.S. Army. I was reading during Hake News, after Hake News, the JLP chat, after I read this in Hake News. And somebody's all, sadly, the U.S. Army is not racist, unfortunately. It's the opposite of racist. It's very anti-white and it kisses up to blacks. So this announcement prompted an appeal from this Travis King fellow's family, and I use the term, that's what they call it. I don't know if he has a real family or if just a single mother or what. To treat him humanely. Questions remain about why he entered one of the most hostile countries on earth. Sort of an amusing story, but it's serious because he could die, because people die from going to North Korea. Travis King. So we saw a portrait of him displayed as his grandfather. Carl Gates talked about his grandson back in July in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Yes, there are blacks in Kenosha, Wisconsin. We learned during the 2020 Black Lives Matter riots. And some black-hearted, evil Antifa-type people who would attack an upstanding young man like Kyle Rittenhouse. A U.S. soldier who bolted into North Korea across the heavily armed Korean border last month or whatever. I think he was getting in trouble, too. He was getting in trouble with the military. It wasn't just, oh, there's racism, let me leave. I think he was in trouble. Wasn't he in trouble? So there's a TV screen in South Korea, I guess. American soldier during news program at Seoul, Seoul, railway station, Seoul, South Korea. Seoul. Not to be confused with Sheol, which is hell. Disillusioned with the inequality of American society and racial discrimination in their army. What a misguided young man. Pardon me for laughing. I harbor no ill, not on purpose anyway, any ill will toward this young man. Terrible. Kept under control by soldiers of the Korean People's Army after crossing into North Korea. King's uncle in August, Myron Gates, told ABC so-called news per far-left extremist outlet Reuters News, ABC's extremist too, that his nephew, who is black, and they capitalized the B in the word black because they're kiss-ups, was experiencing racism during his military employment. So says his uncle, Myron. He spent time in a South Korean jail. Spent time in a South Korean jail? He did not sound like himself. A South Korean jail, that's the supposedly nice country. Huh. See, I told you he was getting in trouble. So the North Koreans are crying racism. It's so funny. Remember that meme from Chinese media? Hunt that blackie. And it's these cops chasing a scared black man. Cartoon. King's mother is concerned about his safety and no word on his father, right? Appealed to North Korea to treat him humanely. So said a spokesman, they call it spokesperson, for his supposed so-called family, said, Mrs. Gates is aware of today's quote-unquote report from KCNA. That must be the North Korean outlet. He should have just gone to Koreatown over here. Just east, a little bit north of here. Koreatown. Didn't used to be Koreatown. It used to be white and nice. Now it's Koreatown and, the Asians. Keep it nicer than the blacks and Hispanics, anyway. It added King's mother had been in touch with the Army and appreciated a statement of the U.S. Department of so-called Defense, War Department, better known, right? That they remain focused on bringing him home. So I guess send up some prayers for Travis King. I'm shaking my head. Let me get to Tony in California for some more entertainment. Black entertainment. Tony in California, how you doing?
Good morning, Hank. How the heck are you?
Doing fine. How about you? Happy Men's History Month.
Okay. Happy Wednesday. And
Indeed.
Thankful that you are able to see it.
Yeah, this week is blowing by. Otto Warmbier. Yeah. Otto Warmbier is the one who died after going into North Korea. Thank you, spoiler alert.
Okay, so the reason I'm calling you this morning is y'all always say, back to blue, and the blue is never wrong. And but I want to talk about these 6 officers, white supremacist officers that call themselves the Goon Squad down there in Rankin, Mississippi.
So who said the blue is never wrong?
Well, y'all always, you and your boss man there, Jesse, always saying that the back to blue, and they're saying that the Democrats are trying to defund the police department.
Oh, okay.
But the thing is,
so we never said that the blue is never wrong. That cops are never. We never said that cops are never wrong.
The way y'all always said that the police, is this, the police is that. But the thing is, I want to get into the case.
Oh, so you just made it up. You just made it up about the
No, I didn't. No, I ain't make nothing up.
Yeah, you made up that we say that the blue is never wrong.
Okay, but the thing is, down there in Rankin, Mississippi.
So you admit that you made that up, right?
You got 6 officers.
No. Before you get into your story, Tony, let's hear you admit. Let's hear you admit that you made that up.
I see Jesse trained you very well.
Yes, he did.
Trying to pivot from the subject.
No. I'll let you get to your subject. You're trying to pivot from your lie. You call in and lie every time.
It's not a lie. It's not a
you
lie.
lied.
Because when Black Lives Matter was out, y'all always was chanting, pigs in a blanket, kill the pigs. You were always chanting that about Black Lives Matter when they was out here.
Because they said
trying
that.
We
had quoted Black Lives Matter as having chanted that, but you're pivoting again. You're pivoting again from your lie.
It's not a lie.
Yeah, you lied and said that we said that the blue is never wrong. We never said anything to that effect.
Okay, maybe you didn't say it, but Jesse
Nor
did.
did Jesse say that the blue is never wrong. So
but the thing is,
let's hear you admit that you made that up.
No, I didn't make it up.
Oh, okay. You just lied.
This is in my mind.
Yeah,
this is my thought.
Oh, okay. So Satan told you that.
This is my thinking of what the concept that y'all bring across that TV screen each and every day.
You're in your imagination. You're in your imagination.
No, I'm not in the imagination.
Yeah. You're typical.
No.
He's a typical black.
I understand the propaganda that y'all put out to America.
All right, so get to your story.
Well, the story is that you have 6 white European officers that brutalized, sexually assaulted, shot the man in his mouth with the gun, put the gun in his mouth, and pulled the trigger.
Sounds terrible, man. This happened in Europe?
No. It's happening in Mississippi.
Oh,
in Rankin,
you said European.
Mississippi.
You must.
Well,
You said you must be confused.
You are European.
No, I'm American.
Your origin is European.
How do you know?
Because of your skin pigmentation.
No. I'm Anglo. England is not Europe. Doesn't England kind of separate themselves from Europe? They're not in the EU.
All of them came from Europe. Bro.
No. I'm English. I'm English. And I'm American.
Your
Scottish.
ancestors.
A little Danish. Okay, I guess that's Europe.
Your literature, your family.
Little German.
Come from the Caucasus Mountains, bro.
No, you don't know what you're talking about. You're just making assumptions.
All you gotta do is research, y'all. Research. That's all y'all gotta do is research.
That's ridiculous.
Oh, that you want to keep them dumb and humble, right? Keep them like Trump said. I love the poorly educated.
Yes.
That's what y'all teachers. That's what y'all teach. Don't get no education. Don't go to college. You don't need that.
Right.
But the thing is, the fight.
So what is it? What is this story? What is this anti-white propaganda story? Anti-cop propaganda story that you're trying to say? They put a gun in somebody's mouth.
Right there. Look it up.
No,
right there,
I don't want to look it up.
Screen.
No, you're not my boss.
If you want to talk about the truth, let's talk about the truth.
You don't care about the truth. You come on here, you lie every time you call.
No, I do not.
Yeah, you do.
I'm just correcting. I'm correcting your lies.
Oh, okay. So what's the point of this story about putting the cops each put their gun in this one man's mouth? How big was his mouth that he could fit all their guns in his mouth?
No, I see, there you go. I said they put the gun in his mouth and pulled the trigger.
But it didn't go off.
It did go off. They shot him in his mouth, and it came out the side of his neck.
Ooh, terrible, man.
But the good thing is he's still alive.
Nice.
He's still alive. That's a good thing.
Right on. Was it a
with a broom handle?
I gotta go, Tony. You're getting too graphic for me.
Well, I'm just telling the truth, man.
You're not telling the truth. You're telling alleged, supposed facts about a story that I don't even know about. What's
all you have to do is Rankin, Mississippi.
What's your point? What's your point?
How evil.
Yeah, people are evil.
Yes.
Including blacks.
I said people.
Yeah, including blacks.
See, there you want to go with the racial thing.
Because you said European. Is European racial?
I don't call.
Is European racial?
No, it's not racial.
Yeah, it is.
You are?
Yeah, it is. It's racial. You cited the fact that they're European, according to you.
Well,
and now you want to pretend like, oh, you're so innocent because I mentioned blacks. Blacks do it too. I said, whites did one, blacks do it too.
Evil, bro. Everybody's evil.
Yeah. Are you evil?
Let me ask you just one question.
Are you evil? Are you evil?
Yes, I am. Yes.
All right.
Let me ask you just one question, though, for you and your viewers. And I want y'all to think and meditate on this. The churches, all churches, been out here for centuries and centuries and centuries, preaching this, talking in tongues, running up and down the aisle, and saying you're a non-denomination of this and non-denomination of that. But the thing is, having nobody in them churches that behind that pulpit, even behind the microphone, defeated Satan yet. Y'all, it's all about business. It's all about propaganda. It's all about profit. Have a good day. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Oh, you're running. He's running. All right. Because Jesus already defeated Satan. Duh. But thank you. I'm chuckling because I saw South Africa loves Hake in the chat, and he said something funny during the music. I wonder if I have that here. I don't know if I have it, but it was a funny comment. Interesting. So there's an anti-Christian, anti-white Tony in California. He admitted he's evil. Nice. He didn't admit he's a liar, that he lied and made something up. He misinterpreted stuff that we say. Since he brought it up, and spoiler alert, is a white man, I believe. Don't want to dox him. Maybe it's a she and it's black. Don't know. Don't want to dox this person. Mississippi officers plead guilty after torturing a black men with stun guns and some vulgar object tool thing. And shares a archive article from an NBC News story. Prosecutors said the now former officers kicked in the doors of the victims, plural victims, home. Oh, it was all the victims were in one home apparently, and immediately began a 90 minute, hour and a half torture session. Far left AP covered it along with Curtis Bunn out August 14th, 2023 AD. All 6 supposedly admitted their guilt to the crimes in so-called federal court. Why did they make a federal case out of it? Because the feds are evil. They want to get their evil fingers in the evil local happenings. So, tortured them back in January, according to this report. Goon Squad. Willingness to use excessive force, unnecessary roughness, right? To cover up their malfeasance. That's why they were nicknamed the Goon Squad. Michael Corey Jenkins was shot in the mouth. So, tortured but not murdered, I guess. I wonder if that was attempted murder. Anyway. Gross. Gross because it was like some perverted thing, too. I wonder what electricity volt via tasers, repeatedly shocked them, use racial slurs. Well, that's to be expected. I mean, when you hate somebody, you're expected to use racial slurs. Like racist. If you hate whites, then you call them racist. That's a racial slur against the whites, right? Well, interesting. Somewhat. Wonder what possessed them. Satan. Just like Satan possesses Tony to call in with these cherry-picked horror stories and pretend like, I guess he doesn't pretend not to be evil. That's a development. Speaking of fake news and fake imaginary racism, let me tell you this. This is from, I guess this would be my 4th reading, but I read 3 readings from JLP's book, The Antidote, Healing America from the Poison of Hate, Blame, and Victimhood. The first chapter, Sudden Death on Canfield Drive in Ferguson, posted on WND.com, August 2015. They shared the first chapter, right? A little reminder on the mothers and so-called parents of Trayvon Martin and Michael Brown, the gentle giant. Trayvon Martin, the 17-year-old thug, 5'11", almost 6 foot. And Mike Brown, the gentle giant, 6 foot something, almost 300 pounds. High on pot, both of them high. When they attempted to kill the white people that they encountered. White Hispanic in the case of Trayvon, right? Trayvon died in February 2012, 2 years before the gentle giant Mike Brown in August of 2014. JLP's book, The Antidote, is interesting in that it covers some backstory stuff about these people's younger days, family lives. Obama, Eminem, O.J. Simpson. O.J. Simpson's dad cross-dressed and went into the Castro district and ended up dying of AIDS when O.J. was a little bit older, maybe in his 40s. Crazy. Turned into like either a transgender or a gay drag queen or something like that. Crazy. Did you know that? Trayvon's mother, Sabrina Fulton. By the way, these women, mothers of the movement. They spoke at the DNC, Democrat National Convention in like 2016 for Hillary. So Sabrina Fulton sent Mike Brown's mama, Leslie McSpadden, Interesting that these people these mothers don't share the last names of their sons, their dead sons. A letter of encouragement. Quote, Trayvon was not perfect, she wrote, but no one will ever convince me that my son deserved to be stalked and murdered. He was not stalked. He was not murdered. Stalking implies illegal. And what George Zimmerman did in following, even allegedly after the police dispatcher, the 911 dispatcher, who was not a cop, said, we don't need you to do that. He was not illegally following him, even if he followed him after that, by the way, just FYI. So stalked and murdered, no. No one can convince you that Michael, as in Michael Brown, deserved to be executed. He was not executed. He was shot in self-defense. Even the Obama Attorney General, evil Eric Holder, admitted as much. And then to make up for that, he made up this fake Ferguson report about the Ferguson police being racist, which there was no evidence, actually. Sabrina Fulton, for some reason, a lot of writers will use the last names of women. No, we need to use the first names. Sabrina Fulton preferred to blame both of these deaths on senseless gun violence. A liberal woman. Neither mother would take any responsibility for the self-destructive anger that consumed both of their sons, writes JLP in The Antidote. You can go to rebuildingtheman.com/stores, #books, I think, to find this book if you don't already have it. It was so much easier to blame guns, the police, the white man. Further down in the article / first chapter here, Benjamin Crump, you know, that BLM lawyer, liar, Black Lives Matter lawyer, lawyer, for both Trayvon's and Mike Brown's so-called families. He said, Trayvon Martin will forever remain in the annals of history next to Medgar Evers and Emmett Till as symbols for the fight for equal justice for all. I have some pictures of Emmett Till and some other characters from that story. We've talked about his story many times here on the Hake Report, ad nauseum, enough to make you dizzy and want to vomit. Your head is full. You're sick of it. You're sick of hearing Hake's voice. Benjamin Crump was one of many, including Oprah Winfrey. I remember at the time, this is 10 years ago, more than that, to compare Trayvon to Emmett Till. Could you find some pictures of Emmett Till there? Hassan there. Hassan. Is he there? Are you there? Oh, yeah, Emmett Till stuff. Emmett Till pictures. In 1955 in Mississippi for whistling at a white woman. They called him lynched for whistling at a white woman. That's not true. It was not mere whistling. Well, at least not allegedly. Okay? I guess it was admitted that he whistled. But he may have done more. Allegedly. Allegedly grabbed, allegedly vulgar with. That's a Lewis Till. That's the daddy. I'll tell you about him in a second. Emmett Till, though, is the son, 14 years old. Apparently murdered, and defaced, his face all messed up. The Antidote, imperfect knowledge here. The young man's father, Lewis Till, by the way, whom you just saw, that's Emmett Till, the 14-year-old boy. When he was about 4 years old, almost 4 years old, his father, Lewis Till, was court-martialed, found guilty, and hanged by the U.S. Army in Italy in 1945 at the age of 23, before Emmett Till was 4 years old. And Emmett wouldn't have known about it either for a while, months, I guess, at least weeks, for 2 counts of rape and 1 count of murder. Rape and murder. He was hanged in Italy. I said Paris before a previous day. This part is not mentioned in Jesse's book here, right? Following trial for DV, domestic violence, which is a buzzword against men, right? Against his estranged wife, Mamie Till. Emmett Till's father, had chosen military service over jail time. So he wasn't this patriot necessarily who went into the military because he wanted to serve the country. No, he went in to avoid jail time. And then he caught for apparently conviction of 2 counts of rape and murder in Italy. And hanged. And later on, the family found out what happened to him. There was even a confidential magazine, I guess like a tabloid type of magazine, in 1956, like 11 years later, saying, why the Army hanged Emmett Till's dad. Crazy, huh? So that's a little backstory on Emmett Till, almost, and John Frederick speculates, like father, like son, dang. Yeah, I don't know if that's true, but Emmett Till, some people said, like the white woman who accused him at first, said that he grabbed her and said, I've been with white women before, and he cussed and was vulgar and stuff. And he was from the Illinois area, right? And then he went to, he was down in Mississippi, getting all high and mighty, or wild, young and wild. He was not just a child, he was of the age in which he would have been attracted to women, right? 14 years old. I've known some 14-year-olds be pretty vulgar, because I grew up among Mexicans and Asians and stuff. I knew some of them, they were pretty, so-called sexually harassing fellow girls, anyway. And this gal, she was a mildly attractive gal at the time. This lady, not saying she's not a liar, I don't know. But they accuse her of lying, and there's no actual evidence that she lied. Do I have it in there? Emmett Till. Emmett Till, Mamie, and Carolyn Bryant Roy. Yeah, there it is. See that gal? She's the third one there. Carolyn Bryant. Roy is the one who one of the guys who allegedly went after Emmett Till, kidnapped him, and allegedly did horrible things to him. Somebody did horrible things to him, apparently, right? Mamie Till became and so Mamie and Lewis, father and mother, they were fighting, allegedly, because he was DVing her, domestic violencing her, and he, instead of going to jail, he went to the Army. And then later she found out that he got hanged for rape and 2 counts of rape and a murder. What a horrible life. And then she spent much of her life being all into that civil rights mess. Open casket for him, of Emmett Till for the funeral, to push this. She's a mother of the movement, this so-called civil rights movement. So sick. This is awful. I'm not listening, says Alex Watts. Crazy. So that's that story. Medgar Evers, so-called civil rights leader, was shot in the back by a white assassin, Byron de la Beckwith, in 1963 in Mississippi. He's the other guy that Trayvon Martin was compared to. He was shot at the age of like 37 and died. Trayvon Martin was shot in the chest, not in the back, while bashing on the head of the neighborhood watch captain, George Zimmerman, who had done nothing but look at him suspiciously and call the police. Maybe I'll have to look into this guy someday. Byron de la Beckwith and Medgar Evers. Because the stories of these people are, when you look into it deeper, it's a little bit interesting. Alex Watts says he wasn't evil. Who are you referring to? To whom do you refer? Anyway, oh, by the way, this guy, what I did see in the Wikipedia about Byron de la Beckwith, interesting name for a white man. He was tried by 2 white juries, got hung juries, and then the state of Mississippi got a conviction against him. And he was sentenced to life in prison for the assassination murder of that Medgar Evers guy. so-called civil rights guy. And he was sort of a pro-white, KKK, Christian nationalist sort of thing, I guess. But I really don't know the backstories of those guys. Can't comment on them. What a mess. John in Kentucky is on the line here, wants to comment on this story. John, thanks for calling and holding. What's up, man?
Man, I just want to know, are you doing these stories for Men's History Month, or are you just like talking about black people 24/7?
It does happen to be Men's History Month. I wasn't thinking of that. And in your imagination, I talk about black people 24/7, just like I talked to some girl who said, you talk about women 24/7. I think you guys are just sensitive because I don't talk about blacks or women 24/7.
What are you doing now?
I talk about this because I came across the story in the Antidote, and then the mainstream media constantly brings up Emmett Till, including your president, Sleepy Joe Biden.
You keep bringing it up.
Biden does too, and so does the mainstream media. And I was reading from the Antidote in Hake News.
You must not have anything else to talk about.
I have plenty to talk about. Why do you say that? What makes you think that? It's not that interesting to you?
I mean, it's not important. Are you talking about Trump not turning himself in? He got, like 8 days to turn himself in?
Is that important to you?
Yeah, that's important. It should be important to you. That's your God, ain't it?
No, he's not my God, and no, it's not important.
He's pretty much your God. He can't do no wrong.
What's a more serious crime, or what's a more serious story? Lies in the mainstream media and covering up the whole truth by the mainstream media and history, or some guy and rape and murder and stuff not being reported widely in the backstory of these poor, innocent, false victims, or the supposed crimes of, I don't know, election shenanigans? What seems more important to you?
All of it, man. I wouldn't say it has any degree of importance, but
then how come you want me to cover Trump instead of?
You're talking about Emmett Till, man.
Right.
And I mean, don't you talk about Emmett Till every week? At some point, you talk about Emmett Till.
That's an exaggeration. I do talk about him frequently.
No, it ain't.
It's interesting enough for you to call in about it and complain.
Do you think Trump
is there anything in you that dislikes hearing the whole truth or a little bit more context about Emmett Till?
I don't know. I don't know what makes you think you have the whole truth.
How about more context? I corrected myself. More context.
Context, spontex, montex. And you always
so you don't like
show
context.
Your bias.
You don't like context?
I don't like you showing your bias, man. Like Trayvon Martin.
Yes, you do.
Listen.
Go ahead.
Trayvon Martin, whether he was a pothead or whatever he did in school, if he wore gold teeth, that doesn't mean he deserved what he got that night. That guy was stereotyping him or whatever, however you want to say it, following him, and he made that happen, man. I would have did the same thing as Trayvon.
You're showing your bias.
If this guy's following me home,
you're showing your bias.
If this guy's following me home, if I was a white guy, any of your white followers, if somebody's following them home, then
you're in your imagination. According to George Zimmerman, Trayvon was wandering, acting suspicious.
Wandering? He was coming from the store, man. They got him on film coming from the store. What are you talking about? It's just that's the way
you want it. Just because he's coming from a store doesn't mean that he didn't wander in between home and the store.
So he's wandering in his own neighborhood, and that's a crime.
Actually know what happened.
Is that a crime?
No, but
is that a crime?
No, neither is George Zimmerman. What George Zimmerman did a crime.
Well, let me tell you something. George Zimmerman, he's going the rest of his life, he's going to be having all this bad stuff happening to him like it's happening now. So
why do you say that?
All you people.
Why do you say that?
All you people.
Why do you say that?
Why do I say that? Because karma's real.
No, it's not.
Karma's real.
You're not.
Y'all treated him like a hero, man. They
karma in the Bible.
They gave him money.
Cite karma in the Bible.
Oh, does it have to be in the Bible for it to be a word?
No, but you said karma's real. That's
an
Indian thing.
What goes around comes around.
It's not in the Bible either.
What's the phrase? Every action has an equal and opposite reaction or something like that.
That's from Einstein, not a Christian. Not in the
That's
Bible.
karma too. That's karma. It's all
No,
karma.
it's not, man. I'm
Yeah, it
being
is, man.
kind of a word Nazi with you. It's you reap what you sow. How do you
That's
know the
karma.
Bible so
That's
well and you
karma.
don't know you reap what you sow?
So, do you believe that?
I believe you reap what you sow.
Well, you believe in karma, then?
No, that's not karma.
Yes, it is. Hey,
All right,
that's
whatever.
That's
whatever.
exactly what it is.
How come you didn't know
But,
you reap what you sow? Because you know the Bible. You know
Yeah,
all
but
the
I gotta
black
go, man.
stuff of the Bible.
My mind is somewhere else.
All right.
And I just had to get out what I had to say.
Yeah.
And you done made me forget everything because you like to jump in every 5 seconds. Unless I'm Azzmador, then you sit there with your undivided attention for like 20 minutes straight and let him have that monotone voice and be annoying and racist and give you false facts and all kinds of stuff.
But you're being annoying and racist and giving false facts.
That's all right. That's all right. That's all right with
But
me.
fair point. Yeah, I let Azzmador speak. He knows more history and he tells stuff that I don't know. You say stuff that I've heard before that I know not to be the whole truth.
But look, man.
Go ahead.
Is he invested in y'all show? Like, is he financially invested in y'all show?
No, and why it wouldn't be your business anyway? What the heck?
Well, I mean, it ain't that serious. But I'm saying, like, he gets to have free range on your show.
He doesn't call
no
that
matter
much.
What.
He was a guest on my show. Maybe you might have a fair criticism. I might have let him speak longer and longer and longer than I should. I'm gaining experience having
a
guests.
Little bit.
What's that?
I think you're intimidated by him a little bit. Like you don't want to cut him off most of the time, even if he's blabbering, not making sense. Heck no.
How come you compared him to the leader in that movie in American History X? You compared him to some leader in the movie about American History X.
Hey, I gotta go. Hey,
okay,
man.
Take care.
I gotta go. Yeah.
Happy Men's History Month. I hung up on him because I didn't want to hear the click, but I didn't hang up on him to be rude. He said he had to go. Interesting. Let me get to a quick super chat. Speaking of Emmett Till, somebody sent a Emmett Till related buy me a coffee. Spoiler alert. Says usually omitted is the fact that Emmett Till was from Chicago. Okay. But was on summer vacation with relatives in Mississippi. The cultures in Chicago and Mississippi were very different at the time. It would be like a white boy going to Detroit tonight and putting his arm around a black girl at the corner store. We all know what would happen. I don't know what would happen, but that would be, it sounds like you're taking a risk. Yes, fair, very fair point, spoiler alert. And it doesn't justify what happened or what allegedly happened, but it gives you a little important context. It sounded like he may have been rude. Yenrik Yogoda says the caller, I don't know which caller, that caller, and I don't know which caller, sounds like the fat kid from the Cleveland show. This reminds me of many blue moons ago when I was in community college. I went to community college, Pasadena City College. Where you at? I know it's improper grammar, but it's a rap. Inglewood always up to no good. This was before I was unaware that some whites were not white and were not Christian. And he puts these in echoes, which I disavow. I had a classmate with the name Cohen, which I now know is not a white name. I remember saying, hey, you have that same name as the Cohen brothers, Hollywood directors. What is that name anyway? English? I remember him being uncomfortable and saying, yeah, I think it's an English name. I still think about him sometimes as Yenrik Gogoda. Pretty funny, man. Pretty funny. Yeah, it's a Jewish name, I guess. Not I guess. I'm quite sure. I hear, and I trust basically, in that case, what I hear. Pretty funny. Taking care of business says, Azzmador is telling the truth. That's why I call her. Yeah. But he also does command a level of respect, so that's fair. Evil is still real says, with a Rumble rant, every action has an equal and opposite reaction. That was Newton, not Einstein, Hake. The genius. Hake, the genius. Newton stated the laws of motion. Einstein published the laws of relativity. Thank you, Evil is still real. Our resident science expert who knows that the earth is a ball indeed. Yes, indeed, Rooney. Yes, indeed, Romney. Appreciate you, man. Well, guys, this has been the Hake Report. Justin in Fullerton, California. Man, I wanted to get to you. We wanted to talk about the guy who defected to North Korea. He has a comment. And Rick in Hampton, Virginia, called in late, as he often does, wants to talk about the Democrats creating division. I don't know if they're creating it, but yeah, you spur it along, inciting it. Well, guys, this has been the Hake Report. I hope you enjoyed it. I did not get to some of the stuff that I wanted to get to. The based teen who avoided the wrong rainbow pavement. And the boy who did not go to heaven. But let's listen to some Christian music, shall we? Actually, this song is kind of nice and short. I haven't played this band yet. This is Left Out. It's a Christian band, or was, from the 1990 album For the Working Class. Not sure I like the word class, but maybe I should have just said for the working men. Men's History Month. This track is entitled Tell Yourself the Truth About You. I hope you enjoy it, and adios, America. I'll stick with you through it. Enjoy, and catch American Anchor, baby, at noon Pacific today. See you tomorrow, hopefully. Here we go. Punk rock. Christian.
Just another day for perfection. They'll keep me up to date with your problems.
Nice.
Really not impressed with your death. Turn your back on all that was there for you.
So good.
We all go a little mad sometimes. Hot cosmic kettle black. Imperfection expects perfection.
Yep.
You lie to that face in the mirror. Tell yourself the truth. We all go a little mad sometimes.
We all go a little mad sometimes. Drummer's decent. Nice. Jesus has entered the pit. Mosh pit. Guar light.
The truth about you.
Tell yourself the truth about you. Adios, America. Bye.